the world is in a lot different place than we were 365 days ago. And that's really been kind of fueled by the Fed pivot that we got in early January. And I think right now you still want to be bullish on the stories that have been working with, especially within technology. We've seen a furious rotation into the semiconductor space. Names like Facebook have kind of done a lot of the heavy lifting within large cap tech, the growth complex especially. And then look at a name like Apple, up 83%. And here we are, 2020s, the iPhone 5G super cycle is right around the corner, and you got a stock firing on all cylinders. And even Alibaba, 10 cents, had a nice 25% jump in the past month or so. So for me, the most impressive part of the move in tech over the past, say, month or two has been the broadness of the leadership across the board. And there's been some pockets of weakness, which is okay. But I think you look at the companies that have been leading this sector to highs almost on a daily basis, it's phenomenal. And until we get a shift in Fed policy, and I think the water is going to get a little more choppy as the election nears, I think right now the business cycle is starting to gain traction. We have a partial trade deal in place. And right now it's game on for tech. These companies are run beautifully, and stock prices are reflective of that at the moment.
All right, so you said game on for tech. Let's get a little stock specific. You're a trader. You manage client flow. You manage order flow. You execute client transactions. You manage risk. So let's talk about all of those when it comes to Amazon specifically. Up again this morning after a more than 4% move just yesterday. Good news around that holiday shopping season, helping to boost that stock. It's up more than 24% year to date. Believe it or not, that trails the market. Yep. What exactly does that mean for Amazon? And is Amazon going to be one of those leadership stocks in the NASDAQ in the coming year?
Yeah, that's going to be, it's a good point you made right there. Coming into 2019, we all knew that the year was going to be a heavy investment cycle for Bezos and company, and the stock has lagged. We've seen that in the past. Like you said, the stock's up 24% year to date with the gain that we witnessed on Thursday, and it's still massively lagging the NASDAQ, which is up 37% year to date. So right now, Amazon's a little bit of a wait-and-see story. We all know that they're a behemoth in the cloud industry. What they're doing on the retail front remains the most disruptive of probably any company we've seen ever up until this point. But I think right now there's more interest in companies in large tech and large cap tech. I look at the leadership change at Google. I think there's opportunity for the new leadership to kind of install some new changes, whether it's a boost to their capital return program, maybe start, rein back some of their spending on their other bets. So Amazon's in a weird spot right now. There's been some slight signs of deceleration within the cloud business. Spending, remains extremely elevated. So it's a little bit of a wait and see, at the moment for investors. And it's probably going to underperform in the near term until we get a sign of a change. And when we do, and then you pile back in.
All right, speaking of wait and see, 2020 is going to be a thematic year for a lot of investors, specifically those looking for the emerging trends and places to invest, thematically speaking. One of those big places is in wireless, specifically 5G next-gen wireless. Are there places that our viewers now should be looking in terms of individual stocks or industry groups within that overall 5G wireless broadband ecosystem?
Yeah, I think one thing, especially on the retail side, you want to be careful of just buying names that throw out the word 5G. Like we heard a lot of companies do that with cloud over the past kind of 5 to 10 years. So I think the easy money has been made up to this point in 5G, whether it's Qorvo, Skyworks on the kind of component side of things, or you look at it on the testing side, you have Keysight, Teradyne, names like Viavi, and you want to be a lot more selective. So I think the names I just mentioned right there, I think if we get a pullback, these are names you definitely want to have on your wish list to pick up. And I mean like 10% or so, not waiting for a crash to happen. But the 5G cycle is going to be have a lot longer tail than the 4G cycle. And that's where the bears got it wrong in Q4. Guys were hedge funds were starting to short some of these names and just got absolutely smoked over the past 4 to 5 weeks. So I think the key event is end of February. We have the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. It's going to be an absolute love fest, no doubt. Attendance is going to shatter records. But again, if we get some sort of sell the news reaction coming out of that Mobile World event, I'd be looking to buy some of the names. But from now, for the next 2 months, I think you want to trade them from the long side versus being too cute and kind of not going against the momentum.
Joel, just a few moments left here. Can you take us through from a trader's perspective what it's going to mean for IPOs in 2020? What do you want to see? What do you not want to see?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to see better companies, coming to the market. And I think this year's pipeline is going to be a lot less hype, right? There's only really one big name, Airbnb. Pretty much everyone in the country knows Airbnb. But last year we had Lyft, Uber, WeWork obviously just imploded in August. So I think what you want to see companies when they do come to the market, and you want to see them deliver good earnings on their maiden prints. We've had companies this year come out and kind of miss numbers, guide well below consensus, and it's been an absolute train wreck. But next below Airbnb, there's some very quality companies, whether it's Snowflake, Domino Data, a company called Mason, GitLab. There's some high quality companies. They already have a lot of heavy tech dedicated backers behind them, whether it's Coatue, Tiger Global, and obviously all the VC guys as well.
Gotcha.
So I think you just want to see stocks come and trade well in the first 2-3 days, and then obviously deliver on earnings versus this past year has been a disaster.